Hey everyone, man, it was a weird experience seeing Barcelona play the Europa League. Hadn't done so since 2004, when it was then the UEFA Cup, but a weird experience to see them play. But let's be honest, anyone that was saying that their priority is the league and only the league, well, today they proved wrong. They proved many wrong because they looked very intent on competing in this match. Will they win it? That's another question, and we'll have to see everyone how they play. But for the most part, the answer, I guess, would be maybe leaning more towards no, because of course when the competition stiffens, we have to see how much more improvement can they have. Now, how much improvement have they had compared to when they last played in the Champions League? A lot. And a lot has to do with what they were able to do in the transfer market. Some of the players have been able to come in. Some of the players that Xavi has been able to improve upon. Case in point, Luke de Jong, he did come in late. Yes, I know that. But he ends up having some interesting minutes. Not quantity, but quality in terms of what he was able to contribute in that encounter. Obviously, Gavi and Pedri showing a great deal of poise and maturity beyond their years, and interesting. I had said before about Pedri that he's a good player. He is. The thing is to go and say that he was sensational. I'm talking about 6 months ago was probably a little too much. But as you see it happening in the next few months after that, well, you start to see that he's been able to improve. He did have some down moments. He did have, of course, some injuries, but he's been able to recover. And fortunately for his career, it's been an interesting bit of improvement for him. So with all of that in mind, the team still needs to be better finishing. Now, yeah, they were able to beat Atletico Madrid convincingly. They were able to come back and score a goal at the death against Espanyol. Yes. But a lot of that lack of finishing could have been able to see them get better points, more points, and maybe even a win in this one. Now, if you look at how they played, yeah, they were the ones that had more possession, but with the possession, they truly didn't bother Meret that much in goal. Napoli was able to defend rather well. Of course, the penalty called against them, and then Ferran Torres being able to equalize, that ends up being also a factor. But for the most part, Meret really wasn't, until obviously the last few minutes, that he was being put under duress. I didn't see it, at least. Obviously, the last few minutes, yeah, there was a lot of pushing forward and trying to get shots on target, and the shot that Ferran Torres misses over the crossbar just says a great deal. But overall, it was just a game of contrast where Napoli was the one that defended, and they looked to break out quickly, and Barca were the ones that were looking to possess. And at times, Napoli was able to take the ball away from them with enough effectiveness. I'm not saying with total effectiveness, but just enough to put them in a situation where they'd have to start running from behind. But overall, it was an intriguing match. It was compelling because of the storylines. It was compelling because of how the two teams stood on the pitch. It was compelling because of how Napoli went after the game and, of course, gets an opportunity and cashes in, which is another testament to Barcelona's defense, which ends up being still one of its weak points. Napoli defensively were able to close off some angles, which is kind of interesting as well. But it just seemed like, well, let's get out of here. Let's get the result that we can get, and then head out to the Diego Maradona, let's head back home and be able to continue with Serie A, and of course, in a couple of weeks' time, be able to face off against Barcelona and finish off the tie, if you will. Ironically, that's the same attitude it seemed at times that Barcelona had. Well, let's try and be able to get this through. Let's get the draw. Let's see what we can. But when there was time, hey, let's try and go forward. At least there was that from Barcelona. So if you were to say that they had a little bit more merit, yeah, I would say so. There's nothing wrong with that. I think I would agree with you on that, and that ends up being a big difference. But there were moments when it seemed like Barcelona, when they weren't able to get to Meret on a consistent basis, it was just like, well, let's see what we can do with this draw, and then head to Naples and be able to get a result there. Of course, is this a final product for? No, they're far from it. They're far from it. They're very far from it. There's still a lot of work that they have to do, but it's better. It's better than it was in January. It's better than definitely was in December and in November and during any time when Ronald Koeman was the coach. So there is improvement. How much more of a jump can they have? Well, we have to see. We have to see how far that improvement can go. But obviously, it's enough for them to compete for Champions League spots in the league. That's why people are saying, well, maybe the priority should be there. But also, maybe the priority should be in trying to win trophies. And this is an opportunity. And this is basically, for all intents and purposes, it is the only trophy that they're disputing right now. Yeah, you could say, well, but they're still in La Liga, but they're very far away in the La Liga race to truly say, you know what, yeah, we have a chance. They don't. Unless Real Madrid completely falls apart in the next couple of months, which I don't see. And for them to fall apart and Barcelona to also recover, there's also teams in the middle that might have to also collapse in the process. So lots of things to talk about, lots of things to delve about. But with Napoli, I kind of, it just seemed like they didn't have that urgency in certain moments. And if they did, maybe it would have been a different result. That's just me talking. But to me, it seems that way. Of course, one of various results that ends up being favorable. The only team up to now, and of course I'm recording this during the beginning of the second round of matches on Thursday in Europa League, the only team that has been able to win at home and establish their presence at home was Sheriff. No other home team was able to win. Barcelona, Zenit lost to Real Betis, and Rangers being able to beat Borussia Dortmund convincingly over at the Westfalenstadion. So again, it'll be an interesting Europa League. It's starting to come out that way, at least, and it will be one to look at. As of course you have a couple of little new ingredients to this edition of the Europa League that give it a different type of taste. And now, especially with Barcelona, with Napoli, and of course with Sevilla, as of course they'll look to try and win the Sevilla League once again, and that's their tournament, and we'll see how that ends up playing out. Thank you guys. It's really cool to get your feedback, and in a couple of weeks time we'll start doing some interviews once again on this podcast, and I look forward to really being able to offer more, as this is where I'm going to start putting my thoughts and a lot more things going on. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao. Hey folks, are you the type that takes notes and does all types of things while watching a match? Taking notes, writing lineups, statistics, that type of thing? Or are you a commentator, up and coming or established, that really enjoys having something to be able to write notes on, keep mental notes, and kind of being able to translate them so you don't forget them in the middle of a match? Well, I have a little project that you can check out. You can check it out in the show notes, check the link out, and be able to possibly even purchase it. It's not a very expensive investment. It's something that I have made to a very economical, because I really want to have the most amount of fans be able to get them at a very low price. Again, check out the Football Notebook. Okay, let me know what you think. I'll put some images on every so often on social media so you get a better idea how this layout looks, just so you see if it works out for you or not. It'd be great if it does. If it does, make sure you check it out on Amazon. Again, the Football Notebook.